Today we baptized about 90 children, including Solomon, who lost the mother while the mother was giving birth. We were informed the mother died in the hospital. A child without a mother, seriously, you can only feel your heart bleeding. I felt so bad, but that is the situation that we have to accept.
It's a celebration of life, but also a reflection of a life taken away while giving birth to life. Solomon Joshua Madiba is 2 months old today. He never got a chance to see or even get the embrace of his mother. His auntie offered to take care of him since he was born, and his father devastated and broken. His newly married wife died in August while giving birth at Koboko Hospital. After Madiba's baptism, the family is here to pay respect to his mother, Media Christine. It is an emotional moment for everyone as they reflect back on how it all started. A prayer is the only source of hope to hold on to.
Lord, you are the giver of life, and everything happens the way you've planned.
But it is not only Christine who they are remembering today. It is also Joshua's twin brother, who was buried just behind the house. He too died during birth. But how did this family get here? August 10th, 2020, Mendia Christine was rushed to Teremunga Health Center 3 at about 7 p.m. when her labor pains intensified. Her brother Albert Malise recalls a moment-by-moment account.
Now when she was taken to Teremunga at around 7, but she could not deliver immediately that very day. They realized that very day that the children were two. Maybe because he was not taken for scanning, I don't know. But they realized that very day once he was taken that the children were two.
At about 5 a.m., she gave birth to a baby boy.
I think she delivered with the first child that they were currently with. Then from 5, the duration from 5 up to 9, she could not now deliver with the second child. She could not deliver with the second child. Then after that, the nurses resolved that if like that, she has to be taken for further investigations up to the main health center hospital.
At 9 a.m. the next day, Mendia was rushed to Koboko Hospital in an ambulance since she had failed to push the second baby.
Then immediately when we reached, we explained it to those other nurses also, the situations. Then the nurse from Teremunga also went to told them what has happened. Now they said if like that, I think they can operate. Then they called for the doctor. So now in the duration of calling for the doctor from around 9, the doctor arrived at around 12.
She was then taken to theater at about 12 p.m. for an emergency cesarean section operation.
From 12, when the baby now was operated, they informed us that the baby is operated but is dead.
Joshua's twin brother was a stillbirth. Part of the family members then rushed home to bury him. Malise stayed at the hospital to wait for his sister to get out of the theater.
Reaching around 3, then that's when they called me. They called me that who is responsible. Then I went. I said I am here. They said the blood is there's problem of blood because of over bleeding. There's a problem of blood, so we should go and buy blood from Pioneer. I said there's no problem, I can run. They gave me the samples in certain container. I rushed very fast, even when it was raining, but I could not now mind of that.
He then rushed to the private health facility to buy blood.
And I gave them the samples, they tested the blood group, and then immediately they gave me the blood. Still, when it was even raining heavily, I had to rush very fast to to the hospital, bringing the blood.
But it was too late.
Because it was taken to the room to the theater at 12. Then until when we now saw her when she was now actually in a different condition, that she has died at 4.
Malise was broken.
Me, I had been hearing these situations in other places, but finally when it happened in our place, I was really not feeling comfortable, and it moved all the people.
He then made the communication to the rest of the family. Mendia Christine was now an addition to the statistics of women who die while giving birth to life. Abure Simon, her husband, has so many questions than answers.
But what I want just to know, government can provide blood to the hospitals or what? This is what I want to know, because I lost a very important partner.
He also questions the competence of the medical personnel who operated his wife.
If the person is going for a labor like that, the first thing, they're supposed to check the blood level. Like they realize that the woman has delivering at night. So they immediately, they're supposed to check the blood, what was the blood level.
The nearest regional blood bank is in Arua, about 56 kilometers away from Koboko. He is devastated.
It is paying me really, because it is still, we are still young in our marriage. I got married, let me say, in 2015. So we are still really, death is there, okay, let me say death is there, but that one is too early to me. So has given me, that thing has scared me a lot.
We visited Koboko Hospital, where Mendia Christine died. The hospital has a maternity ward, which is classified as a high-volume facility. Laboro Emmanuel Ejuku is the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for the district, who also directly supervises the affairs of the hospital.
In a month, I think we receive about 250 to 300 deliveries in Koboko. In a year, that goes well to over 2,560 plus.
Laboro is aware about the death of Mendia Christine.
Unfortunately, when the doctors operated, they removed the kid, there was heavy bleeding, and yet there is no blood. There was no blood at that time. I think there was only a success to get blood somewhere else, not from here, because look at the distance from Koboko to Arua. It's quite long distance. So the need to get blood immediately at that time was not unachievable. Therefore, of course, that death happened.
He, however, says that the challenge of blood shortage in Koboko Hospital has contributed to the loss of many mothers.
If Koboko would have its own blood, given the proximity to Southern Sudan and Congo, and given that it's a high volume, I think having a blood bank here in Koboko would really save a lot, because most of these mothers who have died, most of them have died because of the blood, because from the time they leave either home or the other facility to come to where they can be operated, you find that they have really overbled to the extent that they have no blood anymore.
The hospital has also shortage of staff.
A hospital is supposed to have 9 doctors. But as we speak, we are talking about 3 doctors, but even out of the 3, one of them we have assigned to be the DHO. Then we have only now 2. Now you can imagine 2 doctors are not enough.
Dr. Kenneth Buyinza is the head of clinical services at Reproductive Health Uganda. He fears that more women will die while giving birth because of overbleeding.
Having an independent and comprehensive maternal death review of this particular case stands to give us a lot of, share with us a lot of important information as well as offering us significant lessons. Because, well, this lady, she has lost her life, she's no more, but she should be able to offer us an opportunity to respond, to put in place measures that should deter, prevent other mothers like that one from following the same course.
Dr. Buyinza adds that government should increase on the financial investment to the Uganda National Blood Transfusion Services.
With a population of close to 49 million, according to the World Health Organization standards, Uganda is supposed to be having blood enough for at least 1% of the population. So the government of Uganda, therefore, ought to be appropriating resources enough to make blood available for the service of at least 1% of our population. And that would be about 490,000 units of blood. For us to have that blood in place, we will need about 156 billion Uganda shillings.
Buyinza also says that government ought to increase on the number of regional blood centers to avert such deaths.
The 7 regional blood banks are still very far away from the person who needs blood, are very far away from the person in Koboko, the person in Kwen, the person in Kabong, the person in Kisoro who needs to get this blood. So we needed to look into how we boost, to improve on blood collection, and then also the distribution.
The National Annual Maternal and Perinatal Death Surveillance and Response Report 2018-2019, released by the Ministry of Health, has named hemorrhage as the leading cause of maternal mortality, accounting for nearly half of all deaths. The report, titled "Every Mother and Newborn," revealed that 46% of all maternal deaths are due to hemorrhage. Institutional maternal mortality ratio was highest at regional and national referral hospitals at 382 per 10,000 deliveries.
The only factory for blood is a fellow human being. So Ugandans, as citizens, we need to actually also be able to be sensitized to appreciate that the blood we hold is so important, so valuable, that it is actually a resource that could actually be the only thing needed by your colleague, by your neighbor, by your fellow citizen, to make them actually see another day.
For now, Mendia Christine adds on the number of women who die while giving birth due to hemorrhage at health centers. Little Solomon Joshua Madiba will live without a mother and his twin brother.